extraordinarily tough back-to-back, especially after last night. Who's Houston playing tonight?
No idea.
They're not playing. So it's, it's tough, but it's the rigors of the schedule. We had the guys stay off their feet all day. They're going to check in here as they come in. We'll meet, pregame and go through Sacramento. The positive is we played Sacramento twice, in a very short period of time, so you at least have a feel for who you're playing as opposed to playing somebody for the first time. But the challenges they bring with the skill set of their players, so it's health-wise, we'll see where the guys are at. We'll be honest with them, having good conversations with each guy. My hope is that who, on paper says they're active are all going to go, and we'll go from there.
Where's Jamal's rim pressure? How has that sort of opened things up for you guys throughout the season when he's been able to get downhill?
Yeah, no, and he's also just made really clean decisions. 10 assists last night against a high-level defense who brought a lot of attention to him. And I think over the years, teams have had some really creative coverages where they're in zero coverage, they're kind of in and out with Yoke and the roll or the pop. And the more repetition he's had live in games, the more he's seen it. I think he's figured it out easier. Late in the game last night, he got an easy layup. I shouldn't say easy, but he got to the basket and scored at a huge moment. And it was one of those moments where he had to read on the fly, is this big actually committed to me? Is he bending back to Nicola? And he made a hell of a play and scored at the basket against all that length. So, no, it provides ball movement when he gets off it. And I think the last week he's done a great job of just giving in to what it is. If there's two on him, get off the ball. And that's not just in, when they blitzed him last night. I'm talking just basic down coverage last night. Drove the baseline, threw it back to Nicola, he hits a three. Like just keeping it really simple always wins in our league. Overthinking stuff always leads to turnovers.
When people blitz your guards like that, they're trying to speed you up, obviously force a turnover. But when you get it out of that, is your game plan then, okay, let's go attack, we're 4-on-3 now on the backside?
Yeah, and I think in the past, I would say the last couple of years, there's been moments we've done the right thing and the guys have tried to go right back to Jamal, and that's not the answer. He's created this for you. It's one of those things where it's no different than Yoke in the post or when he gets doubled. It's the creation is over. Like now you have to attack the 4-on-3, the 3-on-2. We had a great possession last night where the ball popped after they blitzed and Bruce attacked and found Jonas for an easy basket. Like that's what it's got to be. It can't be rely on Jamal, he gets blitzed, and then go rely on him again with 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. That's not good basketball. So the guys have to be confident. Some nights it's not great when people that aren't used to handling the ball attack. But the more they do it, the more comfortable they'll get, and I think we'll get better at it.
Hey, Coach, did you ever lean on your dad in terms of making a transition from moving over from assistant to the head seat? And, Doug Christie has had to do the same thing as well. Any advice or anything you give or anything you've learned?
Yeah, I think unique for me is I got to grow up and see it, so I got to see the ups and downs and the things that he believed in that worked and the things he believed in that didn't, and you kind of see the day-to-day when you watch somebody, when you grow up and watch them go through it, the rigors of what this is. I think just the example of being measured as best you can be in this crazy business is really important. And then obviously, my dad's a guy that he won't ask me a question about this unless I ask him. Like that's not his personality. Anybody that knows him or has met him, that's not who he is. He'd rather talk about the news and, some movie he watched or whatever else. That's more his speed. So obviously when he talks about the sport, it's in depth. But he's not somebody who's going to push that on me. So it's a great outlet to have. More importantly, he's just a good person to talk to in general.
Following up on that, does he watch all your games?
Unless my nieces or nephews are playing, he's watching us. Yeah.
Benefit of 24 hours, do you know if Aaron is pretty much day-to-day or if that's going to be a longer thing?
He's going through the whole process. I know you get a first opinion, right? You get the initial opinion, then he'll go get in a second opinion. We'll get like a real answer soon. I don't know at this point. It doesn't feel like it's been 24 hours. So he's going through it. Julian's kind of going through the same thing, like with his back, just kind of, we're trying to make sure we get the correct answer to make sure we're doing the right things for those guys going forward. Obviously, that was concerning last night with Aaron. But, it's one of those things where I was really proud of the guys that stepped up. In a game like that, with the size they have, to lose someone of that caliber that plays at that size and has that skill set, and for the other guys to step in and just do what they can do best to win the game was really cool to see.
You guys also recalled Duran. Any sort of sense of how you might want to use him, if at all, with that absence just at the 4 or small ball lineups, whatever?
Yeah, he could do both. I think, and the G League's been great for Duran because he can play both. He can spread the court, pick and pop against a natural 5. At the 4, he's getting better at screening and rolling against switching coverage and all that kind of stuff. And that's what you see in that league. So, and the other part of that is Duran, Curtis, Tamar, the guys that are down there, we have to get them back with us and then send them back. They need to get back with the guys, keep a relationship with the coaching staff. If you leave guys down there too long, I think it's unfair to them as a professional player. So we'll do the best we can to rotate them through. They've had success. That team's really fun to watch for our Nuggets fans. Watch the Gold. That's a really, really good G League team. Ryan Bowen's doing a great job.
One more.
Have you found a secret sauce off your bench defensively in Bruce Brown and Spencer, the way those two guys come in and seem to change the temperature of your team, energy-wise?
Yeah, I think they're the way they compete, and that's a skill, man. It's not like everybody says, "Oh, go out and compete." Really competing defensively, taking challenges, getting through screens. It does change the temperature of games, and we have enough. With Jonas out there, with Tim out there, usually Jamal and/or Cam. You have offensive players in that mix. You need people to take the responsibility on that end. And I think a lot of teams, offensively, their second unit stars are usually perimeter players, pick and roll players, isolation players. So you got to have guys that can sit down and guard in the wing. Guys that can guard the point of attack and pick and roll. Both those guys take the challenge. It's not perfect every night. Reed Shepherd went nuts on us last night. But I do think the competitive nature of both guys helps that unit, and it gives us a different layer, a different, way of looking at that unit. It's a two-way unit. We can score certain nights, or we can really lock down, force turnovers, and get out the other end and find easy baskets.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, guys.